Hello everyone and welcome to part 7 of my Milwaukee Bucks MyGM on the Xbox One here on Clyde92 TV. And starting off this episode, I'm upgrading my coaching level to level 8 so my players get better overall ratings. So that's really going to help out our team. I'm also signing Brandon Knight to a 2-year deal. He decided to re-sign with our team. He will not go into free agency, and originally he wanted to be a 6th man for $15 million. I gave him less money but a better role, so he will be with us for the next 2 years, and I'll see you guys down at the court. So in this episode, we will be facing the Chicago Bulls. They are currently the second best team in the Eastern Conference, right behind the Miami Heat. After beating the Heat last episode, I really wanted to challenge myself and play up against another top Eastern Conference team. So that's why I decided to play against the Bulls. And look at that pass right there by Derrick Rose into Taj Gibson. And one thing you may notice about this Bulls roster is that it is not the same one that they had last year. They actually traded away Carlos Boozer for Omar Asik, and I think that's a really good trade considering Carlos Boozer is approaching the end of his career, and Omar Asik is probably one of the better defensive centers in the league. And look at Brandon Knight going down and getting a dunk in the paint. That's a great play defensively by him. And we started off this game cold, and the Bulls took advantage of that, and they took the lead right from the beginning by giving the ball down low to their big guys. We just got flat out outplayed by our big man in this game. And as this gameplay is going on, I do want to talk about the NBA free agency in real life. And look at Jabari Parker again, that dunk. Anyways, free agency has been going on for a couple days now, and one thing I noticed about free agency is that the entire thing revolves around the decision of LeBron James. And I know this sounds a little bit weird, but allow me to explain. The three biggest free agents right now on the market are Chris Bosh, Carmelo Anthony, and LeBron James. Chris Bosh is waiting on LeBron James to make his decision before he makes his. And this is because if LeBron decides to stay in Miami, Chris Bosh will probably also stay in Miami and keep the big three going because he knows he can probably win more championships with LeBron. But at the same time, Chris Bosh does want more money. So let's say LeBron goes somewhere else like Cleveland. Chris Bosh is probably going to leave and maybe even go somewhere like the Houston Rockets, because let's be realistic, a team with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade won't be winning any championships anytime soon. They need LeBron on that roster. So I know you guys are thinking how any of this really relates to Carmelo Anthony whatsoever, because he's not really a part of the big three at all. So this is my idea of it. Let's say LeBron stays in Miami and Chris Bosh stays in Miami. That makes the Eastern Conference a pretty strong conference just because they have the Miami Heat there. That's probably going to make Carmelo want to go to the Lakers just because he probably has a better chance of doing well there than the Eastern Conference, because the Eastern Conference is going to have that powerhouse that is the Miami Heat. Now let's say LeBron leaves Miami and goes to the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers are a good team, but they're not a championship contender by any means. That would probably make Bosh go to the Rockets, and think of how weak the Eastern Conference would be without the Miami Heat. Their best team would probably be the Indiana Pacers, and the Pacers I don't think are really a top 3 team in the entire league. So if the big three are separated and the Eastern Conference is really weak, that may be Carmelo's chance to take the Eastern Conference by storm, and he could be a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference with the New York Knicks. So that's basically how I'm seeing the free agents at this point. I can't really see it going any other way. I cannot see LeBron going to any other team, and I think there are even reports that say that LeBron is only considering the Heat and the Cavaliers at this point. So you guys can put in the comments what you think about the free agents this offseason. Obviously, this is a huge offseason, bigger than the ones of recent memory, and this is probably going to leave a big impact on the league. And now let's go into the gameplay of this video. This entire game, you get games in NBA2K where the CPU just will not let you win, and plays like that where Vince Carter's being called for charging fouls, and plays like this where they're stealing it off the inbound just show that we cannot possibly win this game. They're getting a layup right there with Joakim Noah, and we are down by 15 points, and I think that's the biggest margin we have been losing by this entire series up to this point. So now down by 13, Brandon Knight gets called for another charging foul. Things are just not going for us this game. Kirk Heinrich Byron has the ball. He's going to pass it out to Snell, wide open on the left wing, and that's one thing with Jabari Parker that we really need to work on. His defense has been horrendous these past couple of games, and although he is great offensively, he does not have a great jump shot. So those are the main two things we need to work on in the offseason. Down by 16 points, I sent out a lot of our backups just to give them a little bit of playing time. Here's Norris Cole. He's going to pass it down low to Larry Sanders, who gets a layup near the hoop. Larry Sanders also needs to work on his offensive game. His defense has been better, but he does still need to work on it a little bit. Now at the end of the third quarter, Derrick Rose being left wide open on the left wing. Brandon Knight cannot reach him, and we are almost down by 20 points. Now with the fourth quarter starting up, you know the Bucks team is not going to give up. We're going to try to make a comeback. I know it seems not possible, but we're going to at least try to make one. We're down by 16 right here. We're getting a steal with Larry Sanders. Brandon Knight is going to push the ball up court. Vince Carter is hot. He made a three-pointer last play. We're going to give it to him again, and he's going to make another one. Only down by 13. We're going to take it one step at a time, trying to make it a single-digit game first. But their big men are just outplaying us. There again, Joakim Noah's getting an easy basket. Here, Vince Carter, I'm just mashing the X button, hoping they'll jump out a pump fake. But they leave Brandon Knight wide open. That makes it a 15-point game with about 6 minutes left. Norris Cole is playing defense on Derrick Rose. That's a huge mismatch. They're going to give the ball down to Joakim Noah, and he will make it. Our odds of coming back are getting slimmer and slimmer, and that is not good because if we want to be successful, we're going to need to play against teams like the Chicago Bulls in the playoffs. But it is going to be tough to come back when players like Taj Gibson are making shots close to the three-point line. Here they're giving it to Derrick Rose. He's going to make a shot inside, and the lead's up to 21 points. And here we're just going to press for the last 5 minutes of the game, hoping something will happen. And luckily for us, this is the point in the game where Jimmy Butler started choking. He gets the ball stolen from him by Vince Carter, and you know Vince Carter's going to do a cool dunk at the very other end of the court. Now Taj Gibson is going to pass him the ball. I'm guarding Derrick Rose. I want them to give it to Jimmy Butler again. Butler is dribbling up court, and Carter steals the ball again. He's going to take it to the other end of the court, driving, pass it down low to Brandon Knight, and he's going to make that contested shot down low with Taj Gibson in his face. The lead is still double digits, but the pressure is on the Bulls to not choke. Mike Dunleavy is trying to pass it from one end of the court to the other, and it hits the backboard. Larry Sanders on the fast break and getting the dunk. So now there is under 3 minutes left, and the Bucks are still in it. Vince Carter almost gets a turnover there, passes it to Brandon Knight. He's going to drive in, and they leave Vince Carter open again for a three. It's a 10-point game, and the Bucks are coming back. Now here's Brandon Knight on the fast break. He's going to pass it to Jabari Parker. He's going to drive in, pass it out to Brandon Knight. Wide open for three again. 7-point game, getting even closer now. Derrick Rose is going with the press in his face. Brandon Knight is playing D. He's just going to drive right past Brandon Knight, get in the lane, and get it and one at the hoop. Larry Sanders is fouling him. That was a terrible play by us. On the press, we want the ball in Jimmy Butler's hands. He's going to try a spin move, and it gets stolen from him. Back to Vince Carter for the dunk. Back to a 7-point game with under a minute left. Brandon Knight is taking the ball up court. He's going to drive past Derrick Rose, pass it out to Jabari Parker for three, and it's a 4-point game. After being down by 19, the Bucks have a chance to take the lead. But first, we need to get the ball back from the Chicago Bulls. We're not going to foul yet in this situation. Derrick Rose is driving right past Brandon Knight again. I jump with Larry Sanders, thinking he's going to try to get a layup. They give it to Omar Asik, and it's a 6-point game. Now we need a quick score here. We're giving it to Brandon Knight. No shot open. Back out to VC with a contested three, and it goes in. It's a one-possession game, and with 4.8 seconds, Mike Dunleavy is at the line. He makes the first of 2 free throws. If he misses this, we still have a chance to come back. Here's the shot, and it is in. That's a killer possession for this Bucks team. 4 seconds left. Brandon Knight's just going to take a step back three, and that goes in too. It's a 2-point game. Derrick Rose is at the line. He's going to make the first free throw. We need him to miss the second one. Here's the second free throw. Derrick Rose is going to shoot it, and he makes it. That will be the end of this game. The Bucks will not be able to come back, and your final score will be 108-104. A great performance by the Bucks. I thought this game shows that we can compete with top Eastern Conference teams like the Bulls. We were down by 20 at one point, and we came back in 5 minutes. I do think that's a very impressive performance by the Bucks. Here are your final game stats. If you look right there, 4 of our players had 17 points, so we did a very good job of spreading the ball around. On the Bulls side of things, Derrick Rose was the leading scorer with 29 points, and we got flat out outplayed in rebounds and free throws that game. So I'm going to simulate all the way to January 15th, where we will play against the Dallas Mavericks. The simulation treated us very well. We are now 22-15, and we are currently the 3rd best team in the Eastern Conference. And the reason why I decided to play up against the Dallas Mavericks in the next episode, you guys are going to see they are the worst team team in the Western Conference, but they did select Joel Embiid in the draft, so it will be cool to play against him. And I hope you guys are excited for the next episode of this series. One thing I'm considering doing in the next episode is trading away Ersan Ilyasova because he's gotten injured every season so far. I know we've only played 2 seasons, but he keeps getting injured, and he's being paid a lot of money just to be like a guy off the bench. And the last thing I'm doing in this episode is changing Jabari Parker's number from 24 to 12 like it is in real life. So I hope you guys had a fun time watching this video. Be sure to have a great day. God bless you guys. Bye.